I call this meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. We will first move into the University Land Acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire occupies the sacred and ancestral lands of Indigenous peoples. We honor the land of the Ojibwa and Dakota nations. We will now move to our Student Senate Military Acknowledgement. We acknowledge the sacrifices made by those who protect the physical and diplomatic safety of United States citizens and our affiliates. We thank military service members for their commitment to our country. We will now move into roll call. Is the parliamentarian willing to call the roll?
Director Kurtler. Here. Director Keller. Here. Director Shepard. Here. Director Hagan. Here. Director Etzler. Hi. Director Schulte. Here. Director Byrne. Here. Director Schaffman. Here. Director Berg. Here. Coordinator Shrigos. Here. Coordinator Claith. Okay, bear with me because we got some new names here, so I apologize for any mispronunciation here. Senator Vernandez Villa. Here. Senator Moffett. Here. Senator Lee. Here. Senator Heverin. Senator Daniel. Disregard that one. Senator Shetty. Senator Vollmer. Senator Kret. Yep. Senator Dietzler. Senator Miller. Senator Harada. Senator Berg. I don't know. Senator NDI? Not here, no. Okay. Senator Mapes? Senator O'Boyle? Senator Peckham? Senator Boltages? Thank you. Senator Dunlap? Senator Phelps? Senator Koporowski? And then Senator Long? And Vice President Cardell? President Heverin, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me there. Sorry, guys.
We will now move into open forum. Is there anyone here for open forum? Seeing none, we will now move into approving the meeting minutes from April 20th. Are there any amendments or corrections to last week's meeting minutes? Seeing none, we will now move into reports, beginning with the president. Well, folks, today's the day. When I first stepped into this role, one unintended bonus I didn't realize until now is that I don't have to say my report after Vice President Cardell. I just know I would not want to follow up his speech, so good luck to you, Director Kurtler. To start off my report, this past week I began wrapping things up in the office. I finished my transition materials, conducted my last week of check-ins, packed up my belongings, and prepped for the parleys. Thanks to those of you that were able to attend. In addition, I met with President and Vice President-elect Shepard and Byrne for our transition meeting with Chancellor Carney and Dean Heinzelman. I also had the opportunity to meet with President-elect Shepard and incoming Chancellor Martini to do a promo video for the university. On a more personal note, I've been prepping for circuit presentations and the Provost Honor Symposium. So good luck to those of you participating in those events this week. While typically this would draw the conclusion of my report, it is a very special meeting. We have reached the end of the 69th session. So for that reason, I'd like to apologize in advance for the lengthiness of my report before we continue on. I first joined Student Senate as a last-ditch effort to make Eau Claire my home. I was looking into transferring to another institution because I hadn't found my footing as a freshman. I had no friends in college, was struggling with my physical health, and was scared to reach out to anyone. So I told myself it was Senate or bust. I applied and signed up for an interview, and I will say nobody informed me that I would be interviewing in front of a whole panel of individuals, but my frustration with the lack of allergen labeling around campus turned into a whole slew of ideas that helped secure my position as a senator. From that point on, Senate constantly challenged me, and let me tell you, I was terrified. Interacting with new people, to speaking in the mic for the first time, to writing one resolution that turned into several more. All of these doubts of if I said the right thing or wrote a decent piece of legislation swarmed my head. At some point, though, I had to trust in myself and those that put their faith in me. If not for Brenna Strojan's reaching out and explaining Parley Pro during my very first meeting, I would not have continued on to be a senator. If not for Brett Farmer and Sam Consiglio, I would not have been the first student health and wellness director. And now, if not for Zach Cardell believing in me, I would not be president of the 69th session. I don't think all of the scary has ever gone away. Standing up in front of you all every Monday for the past year still has me shaking as I approach the podium. But it does get easier, I promise, especially when you have such a strong support system and people who care. To the senators of the 70th session, I have one request for you as you jump into a new session. Do it scared. Never let fear be the reason why you don't get involved, speak out, or stand up for what you believe in. Don't let anyone, including yourself, stop you from achieving your goals. Every single one of you is here for a reason. Your voice matters. You matter. Every single one of you offers such a unique perspective on the student experience, and I am so excited to see what you do with your position. I believe in you. To those of you graduating, I can't wait to stand side by side with you at the finish line in a couple of weeks. We've almost made it to graduation, and I hope you're just as excited as I am to close this chapter and see what is in store for the next one. Though I could spend hours going through all of the incredible individuals in this organization, just know that all of you have had such an impact on me and the student body as a whole. However, there are some more personal shout-outs for those that have greatly shaped me this year. And without objection to the chair, I will be breaking Parley Pro for this one. Sorry, Logan. Alex, I've had a lot of fun having check-ins with you. You are such a hard worker, and I appreciate you taking the initiative to meet with Housing and Residence Life alongside community members, going well above your pay grade. You continue to push through on housing initiatives, even when it might have been easier to scrap it and move away from it altogether. Spring community walkthrough, I'm talking about you. Not to mention, I especially love hearing about all the ways you continue to rage bait Isabel in the office. You undoubtedly bring a smile to my face every time. Amber, you essentially got thrown in the deep end head first as a director. I am incredibly grateful you were willing to take on this challenge. I've loved seeing all the progress you've made in collaborating with MSS and SSD. In addition, your devotion and willingness to push through on the hot water dispenser in Davies. While it is a project that will need to be carried on into the next semester, I have no doubt it is something you'll ensure is seen through to the very end. You've seamlessly integrated into Senate in the past year, and now it is impossible not to picture you as a court member. Rachel, I am so proud of you. You've completely reimagined SHW this year. Without all of the work that you've put in, SHW would not have found its footing in the way that it has. You've got 2 incredible advisors on lock, commission bonding through writing the health and wellness newsletter, and now the health vending machine in the works. There could not have been a better fit to shape the commission into what it is today. Because of you, I know SHW will be an outstanding commission for years to come. You have only reaffirmed what I already knew to be true from the very beginning when Zach and I picked you as our nominee. You are an exceptional leader and amazing director. Chanel, I will miss you so dearly. It's been incredible to see your progress as a leader with UAC. The very idea of not getting to see you grow and change over the next year pains me. I have loved seeing you blossom and step into the confident leader I see before me today. I appreciate going to Whirlybird and visiting your recommended coffee shops, and when I come back to Eau Claire to visit, you best believe we will be grabbing a coffee together. I am proud of all of the work you've put into this session, and I'm even prouder to call you my friend. Thank you. Joey, let me start off by saying you have set the bar as mascot coordinator. The amount of emails and highlights that I've received from administration just raving about you and your team is unmatched. You are a phenomenal leader and role model for your team to look up to. You raise morale and blue gold spirit unlike anyone I've ever seen before. When Zach and I approached you about the role in winter, you took no time putting your head down and getting to work right away with the mascot committee. Seeing you in the office day in and day out inspires me. Please be proud of absolutely everything you've accomplished this year because I certainly am. It has been a joy to watch you in Senate this past year. You've done so much in the span of only a year. I can't wait to see what comes next for you in your journey. I just know that you will go so far. I will miss getting to work alongside you. Aiden, you are one of the most passionate people I've ever met. Your involvement in several commissions and your dedication to Senate as a whole certainly shines through. I so sincerely wish I would have had the opportunity to meet you sooner. I hope we continue to spend more time together and get closer. I think we need to crush our opponents in code names again. We make a great team, and you are certainly someone worth knowing. Not to mention, you still need to show me around your farm sometime. Audrey, it has been so inspiring to see you step in as the comms director this semester. Up until this past year, communications was a very different commission. You helped lead the charge and change that. Over winter break, I remember telling Zach how desperately I wanted to get to know you better and be your friend. Hold up, lost my place here. There we go. He politely let me know that all I had to do was simply reach out. I am so glad that I did. Going to the nucleus together might not have seemed like a lot, but it meant so much to me, and it still does. You are one of the funniest people I've ever met, and I am going to be so sad that I won't be around to see what you do next. You lead with compassion and extend a helping hand to anyone that needs it. I truly admire that in you, and it is one of the reasons why I've so desperately wanted to be your friend in the first place. Every memory I've been lucky to make with you is so cherished, and please keep in touch. Isabel. It's been so fun getting to see you go from the finance intern to now president of the student body. I know you will be an incredible president and amazing leader. I know how many others look up to you because I am one of them. Trust in yourself as you take the reins this session. You represent nearly 9,000 students on our campus, and I'm so excited to see how you take this next step. The students of UW-Eau Claire are lucky to have you. I know how hard you have worked to get here, and you should be so proud of yourself. You mean so much to me, Isabel. I appreciate you putting up with my antics and letting me drag you out to go dance on the rare occasion. It's been a blast getting to know you over the course of the year, and we will absolutely be keeping in touch. I have so many cherished memories with you. From shared governance to card games and girls' night, I have loved spending time with you. Please let me know of all the Senate shenanigans that go on during the year. I am always here for you if you need advice from a former president or just want to talk as a friend. I have the utmost faith in you, Madam President. Hey, Ash, it's your turn, bud. My actual day one supporter. I love you so much, and words cannot describe how much you mean to me. When we sat at the GOAT a year ago, and you got the email from Billy Fells saying from Billy Fells saying that you had been accepted to the university here, I was over the moon. I just knew how much you were going to love Eau Claire, just like I have. How lucky am I that I have gotten to share all of my favorite coffee spots, restaurants, hidden gems, and advice. Getting to live under the same roof as you again has been a wonderful experience, and I've loved every moment I've spent with you. You are by far one of my favorite people to ever walk the earth, and you best believe I'll be cheering you on as you continue on in your college journey. You are going to make so many memories here, I just know it. You bring a light to Eau Claire that nobody else can. The empathy and compassion you carry with you is truly remarkable. You light up every single room you walk into, and that is one of the countless things I love about you. You are going to be an excellent nurse with the way that you care about others and your passion for making the world a better place. Student Senate is lucky to have you as a member, and I am even luckier to have you as my brother. Keep loving Eau Claire for me. Allie. Both in and out of Senate, I've gotten to see how much you have grown as a leader, and I could not be more proud of everything that you have accomplished. You have led your commission beautifully, and I am not just saying that because we're friends, but because I've seen how much you've invested into IGA and others around you. Take pride in everything you've accomplished. You deserve this win. You have been my rock and support this year, and I could not be more thankful for having you by my side through it all. Through every adventure, every movie night, every long conversation, I've had the pleasure of getting to be by your side. Which is why for the past few months now, I've kept wondering, what am I supposed to do when you're gone? Who am I going to ask to have coffee with me at random times of the day? Or watch the newest Scream with? or go for hour-long drives while listening to the newest albums. I have loved every second that I've gotten to spend with you, and now I'm going to have to do that from a distance. But that's okay, because you get to be this incredible girl boss absolutely killing it in law school. You're beyond intelligent and far better at articulating your words and writing paper than I will ever be. I don't know how you do it, but best believe I am in awe of you. And if anything, this just means I get to come visit and receive the best lore drops to date. I love you so much, and you better feel all of my love and appreciation from 17 hours away in Albany. Zach. We did it. We actually did it. I think both of us are still a little surprised that we've made it this far. I know I am. Who would have thought our session would have started with a tornado, for instance? Or that we would have needed to go back to the drawing board after the first round of director nominations? But despite every loss and every win, we stuck by each other. Through all of it. Through thick and thin. This session was perfectly imperfect, and there is no one I would have rather had by my side during all of this. You've pushed me and challenged me to be a better president and a better person. I could not be happier that through all of it, we've had each other. Not only are you compassionate, intelligent, and kind-hearted, but I also know how committed you've been to this university and this body. Words cannot describe how much you mean to me and how honored I am to be your friend. I'm so appreciative of everything you've done for me over the past 2 years. You came into my life as fast as the tornado did last May and completely shaped my college experience in a way I never would have thought possible. Now that you're shipping off to Chicago pretty soon here, I'm going to miss you terribly. But based on how this year went, I know that you are the perfect candidate for higher education. There is no one better suited than you to lead, propel students further in their activities and studies, and be the bridge for them. You've certainly pushed me in ways I didn't think possible, and I have you to thank for that, truly. If you can help someone like me, I can only imagine your capabilities in education. Even though I might have to wait a bit to see you every now and again, I know you're going to live it up at Northwestern. Never forget how exceptional you are. Kill it in Chicago for me, all right? Northwestern is lucky to have you. And last but not least, Dean Heinzelman. I don't think there are enough words in the English language that could perfectly explain just how thankful I am to have you. Not only as the Student Senate advisor, but my own mentor. You gave me the support system I needed this past year. I wish I would have walked up to you sooner to strike up a conversation over the years. You have been a bright spot and someone I trust, and no matter how awkward I may have been at our check-ins, I've never felt alone with you in the room. Thank you for everything you've done, not just for me, but for the student body as a whole. UW-Eau Claire would not be the institution it is today without you. To wrap up this terribly long report, I just want to say, I know you all will go on to such amazing things. Whether you're graduating, sticking around for the next session, or moving on to the next great opportunity, I'm glad our paths have crossed. Thank you, and for the last time, I yield. I will be taking no questions for that report. With that being said, Vice President Cardell.
Happened. What's up, Blue Golds? First, I'm gonna apologize to parliamentary. Parley Pro's done, guys. This is first names only. I can't do this. I'm in the retirement home in like 2 hours. Okay, you're gonna see me going back to the nursing home with my pudding cups or whatever. I'm gonna apologize. This is gonna be super chill. I'm gonna apologize severely in advance for this report. It is by far way too long. Probably too reflective and sappy. However, I only get one shot at this, so I want to ensure that I thoroughly express myself as best as I can. I'm also apologizing because I'm already a mess, and you're going to see me get worse. Just suck it up, okay? I'm a man. You can cry. It's emotions. Now, as many of you know, music is a large part of who I am. I listen to music when studying, hanging out, relaxing, pumping myself up, or crashing out, which according to the Parleys, I am the best at. Music is a great way for me to ground myself. So, over the past few weeks, as this year began to wind down, I did what I always do when I need to think clearly. I turned on to music. As always, I was jumping around different artists and playlists, and none really felt like they matched the vibe I was trying to go for. So, because it felt right, because it always feels right here, I put on Bon Iver. Cheesy, yeah, I know. Listen to the guy from Eau Claire when reminiscing about Eau Claire. His music bangs, end of line. He has a song called Holocene. A definition for Holocene is that it's actually the name of our current geological epoch. We have been in this epoch for just under 12,000 years, starting just after the last major ice age, which may seem like a super long time. But when put in comparison to the history of the world, at just over 4.5 billion years, it's a small speck. However, Holocene is also named after a bar that used to be back here in Eau Claire. Justin Vernon, the guy from Eau Claire, wrote it at least in part about this city we're in right now, about the specific feeling of being in a place that is small and quiet and real, and realizing that something enormous was happening inside of it all along. There are not too many lyrics in this song, however, each word is packed with a punch of emotions, specifically this phrase, and at once I knew I was not magnificent. Just like us in our geological epoch, we are not magnificent, yet still here we are. Sitting with that song in that reflective, sad state, something landed for me that I hadn't been able to put into words all year. The feeling isn't about being great, it isn't about legacy or impact or any of the words we throw around here in leadership spaces. It's about a moment of total honesty. Seeing yourself clearly inside something bigger than yourself and finding peace in that. That is what this year gave me. That is what this report is about. Not magnificent, not magnificence, clarity, peace. I walked into this role with one word that I wrote down, intentional. I wanted every decision, every meeting, every conversation to mean something. What I didn't know yet was how much I still had to learn about what that actually looks like. I knew this role was a large undertaking. I knew going in that this seat carried real weight and a real opportunity. I told myself I was ready for that. And then I sat across from the university admin for the first time, and they looked at me like a professional. They spoke to me like a professional. They expected things from me that professionals are expected to deliver. That happened almost immediately, and it recalibrated everything. The first few weeks of this session, getting our executive board established, setting the tone of the year, were the hardest mentally that I've experienced in any role I've held here. Literally, our first meeting of the session had a tornado drill. Are you kidding me? 5 minutes into our first time taking over, ended an emergency. And then the next few weeks, which had its own shares of ups and downs throughout getting our team together, the doubt didn't creep in, it flooded in. I sat with the question that I think every person who's ever stepped into a leadership role sat with. Did I make the right decision? Am I actually ready for this? I don't think I had a clean answer to that question for a while. And I think that's okay, because the willingness to sit with that doubt, to not run from it, to show up anyway, turned out to be exactly the thing that this role required most. This year was not easy. I'm just going to say that plainly. It was not easy. It put real strain on friendships and relationships that mattered to me. There were weeks where I was running on empty, trying to balance academics, Senate, a social life, and the persistent voice in the back of my head asking whether I was doing enough, whether my best was actually good enough for everybody around me. And if you know me, no matter what I do, it would never be good enough for my standards. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from not doing too much, but from caring too much about too many things at once. If you've sat in this horseshoe for any length of time, you probably know what I mean. But here's what I also know. I watch students walk away from projects we worked on and feel genuinely seen by their university. I watch the Senate body, and especially this executive board, grow in ways that I could not have predicted and could not have engineered. I watched people find their voice in this chamber who didn't have it when the year started. Those moments didn't make the hard ones disappear, they made them worth it. One of the reasons I got through this year how I did was because of the people around me. I want to talk about so many people in this room and the message I want to leave with you, but I've already written too much and there's so much more to go, so I want to talk about a handful of people who have helped me through my journey so far, but as a general message to everybody here. Everybody in this room has impacted my journey, and I'm proud of the work this body has done. There are many of you we have known for each other for only a short time, or I barely even know you, yet I feel that we have connected like we were lifelong friends. This body brings such a unique, passionate, caring, and empathetic group of individuals, all of which I am blessed to have been met. However, I do want to thank a handful of individuals. To start, Maddie, you have balanced so much over this last year. You inspire me to do my best no matter what. Whether that's pursuing your dream of med school or by the passion you bring to SOS, you're one of the most driven people I know. Never stop pushing yourself, but also don't be afraid to take a moment to breathe and appreciate where you've come from. Jack, it has truly been a treat to get to see you Find your footing in Senate this year. Every time we talk, I feel like I learn something new about you that amazes me. You are one of the most intelligent people I know and have such great ideas. I still can't believe you casually went to China and didn't mention that for a solid 3 months. In addition, you shook the president of the largest province of China while recovering from an exciting night before. Logan, I'm so glad you trusted me enough to take this step into this role for this year. Throughout the entire year, I'm eternally grateful you are the person I get to sit next to at each GA. You're one of the most creative, funny, empathetic, thoughtful people I know. I know that in any conversation, we can find any movie, song, album, or TV show to bond over, and I also know you're going to gaslight me in that same conversation as well. Logan, I'm glad to know you better not only as a person in Senate, but truly as a friend. You are going to be an excellent teacher wherever you end up. Your future students are lucky. Audrey, when you stepped in this role, you had a mountain to climb, and half the year to try and climb it. I can confidently say now that you have surpassed my expectations of what was possible in a few short months. It felt like you've been doing this role for months, even years, with how passionate, driven, and inspired you are. You never settle for good enough and always push yourself and the people around them to do their best. It could have been easy to coast for the last 3 months to make it to the finish line, but you pumped into the next gear and kept innovating. I never say it enough, but I'm so proud of all the work that you've done. Communications looks infinitely different than it did last year or even last semester. On top of that, you have been someone I am glad to call a friend. The number of times I've had therapy in my office or crashed out in the Olsons downtown after an eventful night, I appreciate you being a listening ear to help me get through so much this year. Keep pushing yourself, but please, don't be afraid to give yourself your flowers. You don't have to rely on others to motivate you when you can recognize the work you do on its own. Tia, what up, party person? I don't get it. I don't know how you balance all that you do and you still have the most positive energy and attitude I've ever been around. Every single meeting, check-in, event, etc., you would never fail to have a smile on your face. You have spent a good part of this session and last revamping how SOC looks and operates. I know I've said it before, but you have spent the last 3 years of your collegiate career investing so much of your time and energy into SOC and Senate. Tia, I'm immensely proud of not only how far you've taken SOC, but also you as a leader. Oftentimes, when people are leaving their positions, there's a fear of who will be replacing them. Knowing that you will be the one to take my place later tonight, I have no fear at all. You're going to bring so much to the table that I could not, and do so many things I could have only wished to do. Tia, never forget why you're here, and always keep that smile on your face. There's no one else who would want to replace me, because honestly, you're going to do a better job than I did. Go on and kill it. Isabel, I'm going to avoid eye contact, because I know the second that happens, we're both going to start crying, so she's not there. You are such an amazing person. I am so blessed to not only call you a coworker, but also one of my closest friends. Getting to know you on an individual level is something that I won't take for granted. We've both been through a tough year, and that's putting it pretty light. Throughout it all, you've been such a support when I struggle to support myself. I know you will bring that same compassion and empathy towards your work next year as president. Now, you have always struggled with taking compliments or acknowledging your work. It's okay, I do the same thing. But maybe just this once, I want you to recognize the amount of work and growth you put into where you are now. Intern, director, RHA president, student body president, and most importantly, my friend. All the while, you've grown, you had to cut the tension there, you have grown not only as an individual, but as a leader, one that Eau Claire is going to admire for the next year. You're going to do great things. Never forget that. I love you very much, and I'm so grateful that we've gotten to know each other, not just as coworkers, but as one of my best friends. Greg. Now, I don't think if we look back a year from now, you could have guessed how this year has gone. Whether that's system changes, university leadership change, or even just the roles that you yourself have had to fulfill. Throughout this last year, even though any struggle we went through as a Senate, you were also going through on the university side, you were always an open door for myself and Kate. You've been an amazing advisor, sure. More than that, you're an amazing mentor. I have you to thank for helping me get to my dream grad program and helping me recognize that I can do what I can do with the rest of my career. So many doors have opened, and I don't want to downplay the impact that you've made in my career so far. Allie, honestly, a year ago, I don't think we even knew each other at this point, and now you're like one of the closest people in my life. Over the summer, I was working on Blue Gold Welcome, and you were studying for the LSAT. So naturally, we'd hang out in my office, we'd crash out over our shared pains, and we'd have lunch breaks that would turn us into us talking for hours and hours on end in trauma bonding. Since then, it has never stopped. I am so proud of all that you have done. You got into law school with a fantastic scholarship and have worked your butt off to get there. You were one of the closest people in my life, and I know you're going to do great things, although I'd be remiss if I didn't question if you were just friends with me for Chai. She does seem to like you more than she likes me. I'm grateful that you will go on adventures with me, even if it's just grabbing food or stopping at Books A Million, or if it's doing a 5-day road trip to Canada on a whim. We did that. That's crazy. Allie, never stop being the leader you are, and always remember that you are so loved. You came in my life just a year ago, but you have trusted me enough to let me in, and it feels like we've known each other for years. And because of that, I really do love you to the moon and back. Yeah, we're never beating those allegations, are we? Oh boy. Kate, what's up? Where do I even begin? There's a lot I could say. I could sit up here talking about where we started or going through our journey, whether that's as president and vice president or as friends. I could probably talk about how there's no one else I could have done this with, especially with the challenges this year has brought. That I'm glad I could be the Robin to your Batman. Or I could talk about how you've become such an important person in my life. We've seen each other at our highest, and boy, have we seen each other at our lowest. But throughout it all, we were there for each other, whether physically or just in support. However, I want to take a second to look at us right now. Here we are, sitting at the front of this room, the Horseshoe, where both of us have called this room home for the last few years every Monday night. We have both had many amazing opportunities, whether that's speaking to the community with the science building ceremony, or getting the opportunity to help direct this university's future with the selection of a new chancellor that would guide this university into a new chapter. Or, most importantly, the experience that I hold above everything else was the opportunity to call you my best friend. That for me was way more worth it than an interview, any meeting, any check-in, anything at all. Kate, we've been through hell and back. And if there's anything that I've learned this year, is that going through this journey we call life alone is very hard, but having just one person to take that journey with you makes it a little more enjoyable. You have so much ahead of you, and I'm not just talking about med school. You have so many memories, friendships, experiences that you will conquer because you are a person that has done great things. I'm going to miss spending my Monday nights with you, and no matter where our path leads us, I know I'll have you in my corner, and I'll be right there in yours. I love you very much, and like I said earlier, there's no one else I'd wanted to have spent my last 9 months with, through thick and thin, other than you. Love you so, so much, and once again, I'm not being the allegations here, am I? All right, coming back together here, guys. Now, going back to the beginning of this report, my Holocene moment. My Holocene moment came from an unexpected place. This semester, I began student teaching, and with that came something I hadn't experienced in my 2 years of Senate here, forced distance. I couldn't spend hours in the office every day. I couldn't be available like I had been. I had to step back, not because I wanted to, because it was required of me. And in that stepping back, something strange happened. I could finally see the whole landscape. I could see what the year had actually been. I could see the people I'd poured into and the people had poured into me. I could see the growth in the body, in the work, and in myself that I'd been too close to recognize while I was living inside it. The most honest thing I can tell you that this year has taught me is that Rome wasn't built in a day. Change takes time, personally and institutionally. And that's not a failure, that's just how transformation works. I came into this role thinking I needed to be the one with the answers, the vision, the plan. I'm leaving knowing that the most important thing you can ever do was create the conditions for others to find their own answers. The most important thing I could do was show up, fully, honestly, and perfectly, and trust the process. And once I knew that, everything looked different. There's a moment in Holocene where the feeling shifts. It stops being about one person, becomes about a place. About standing inside something vast and still and understanding your own size within it. Not with shame, but with something closer to wonder. That is what Eau Claire has given to me. To me, this city is embodied by the Chippewa River. It's always moving, always evolving, carving new paths while honoring the ones that came before it. It connects people who would never have found each other otherwise. It doesn't ask to be noticed, it just keeps flowing, doing what rivers do, making the land around it more alive. That is what this university has been for me. That is what the Senate has been. Eau Claire gave me something I never quite said out loud until now. Freedom. Freedom to grow, and to fail, and to change. The freedom to learn, to fear, to live, to love, and to cry. The freedom to become a version of myself I couldn't have imagined as a freshman walking into this campus. In this Senate, this room is something the outside world will never understand. You cannot explain to someone who hasn't sat in these chairs what it actually means to be here. The weight of it, the joy of it, the strange and specific community of people who care this deeply about something this important. This is not like any other student org. It never was. It's bigger than that, and you are bigger than you know for being a part of it. Now, I want to speak directly now to everybody in this room. To the ones just beginning, the ones in the middle of the journey, and the ones preparing to pass something forward the way I am tonight. Things take time. I know you know this, but I want you to really hear it. Not just the institutional timeline, the slow work of policy change and budget cycles and multi-year initiatives, but the personal timeline too. The time it takes for the people around you to see the impact you are already making. The time it takes for you to see it yourself. You are more powerful than you recognize. I have watched every single person in this chamber do something this year that mattered. Not all of it was visible, not all of it made an agenda or a report, but it mattered. Student you made feel welcome, the vote you cast with conviction, the meeting you showed up to exhausted but still were here. It mattered. Don't wait till your Holocene moment to appreciate what you're building. I had to step back to see it clearly. You don't have to wait that long. Look around this room right now and look what we've built together this year. Look at who you've become. Let yourself feel that. Not at the end, not in retrospect, but right now. The river doesn't wait to be appreciated. It just keeps moving. Be the river. This Senate is in good hands. It always has been. It is in good hands because of the people sitting in these chairs today, who chose to show up, who chose to care, who chose to say even when it was hard. I am so, so proud of every single one of you, and I'm so grateful that I got to be your vice president. 4 years at Eau Claire, 2 in the Senate, 1 year in this seat right here. I have loved every complicated, exhausting, beautiful minute of it all. To this campus, to this river, to this room, thank you for the freedom. Thank you for the growth, and thank you for showing me who else capable of becoming. To the people I'm leaving behind, I'm not worried about you, not even a little. You're going to do things in this chamber that I can't even imagine, and I cannot wait to hear about it for Chicago next year. And to the version of myself that walked into this role, anxious and uncertain and full of doubt, we made it, and it was worth every single moment. Now, to end this final report, I want to apologize for how long this has taken and appreciate each of you for bearing with me through thick and thin, not just tonight, but all year. Thank you all, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, and I yield.
I'm assuming there will be no questions for that report. We will now move on to the Communications Commission report with Director Kurtler.
What's up, guys? For the first time ever, this report is being written well ahead of time, but I feel pretty safe in writing that in this moment. I am probably struggling to follow up Vice President Cardell's last ever report, so I apologize in advance for any voice quivers. As you all know, tonight is the last meeting of the 69th session, and there are quite a few people who the Senate body will be saying goodbye to tonight. With that being said, I'd like to say something for the people who have impacted me during their time here. Maddie Schaffman, you may not know this, but when I first joined Senate, I looked up to you. I thought you were so incredibly cool and funny and self-assured. As I got to know you over the following year and a half, you showed me that I was right. I've always enjoyed being around you because, as we all know, I'm someone who loves to laugh, and you have one of the sharpest wits of anyone I've ever met. I'm glad that I've been able to know you during my time in Senate, and I hope you know that you've shaped my experiences both in Senate and in SOS. Whoever becomes the next Senate Director of SOS will have huge shoes to fill, and fortunately for them, they will not have to deal with Senator Dunlap and I harassing them for those SOS sweatshirts, because you already did that. Logan Ackerman, you are one of the busiest people I know, which means you are rarely in the Senate office, and that makes it all the more special when I get to be there at the same time as you. No matter what I have going on, you have the unique ability to lighten the mood of myself and everyone else around you and get them to laugh. However, you're not just funny. You've also been great, if not a bit unserious, within your role as parliamentarian. Whether we're in or out of a meeting, you are always enjoyable to be around, and you have a way of making an average meeting memorable. I hope you know how much your presence, both professionally and personally, has been valued and will be missed. Allie Etzler. Since the moment I became the comms intern last spring, you've always made me feel seen and valued, both in work and in friendship. There has never been a moment where I've doubted that I have someone in my corner because you've always made it known that you're my #1 supporter. You always tell me how well I'm doing and that you're proud of your favorite comms director, so now it's my turn to tell you that I could not be more proud of you. You have done such an amazing job with the roles you've held in Student Senate, and I cannot stress how excited I am to see what you do next because I know it'll be amazing. You are funny and whip smart, and you've been not only an incredible director, but also a very valuable friend. I am so incredibly grateful for the part you've played in helping me become who I am today and for the memories we've made. And though I won't be with you on the next part of your journey, I will only ever be a text away. Caitlin Hevron, my Madam President. I know that some may have thought the 3 tornadoes during your first chaired meeting might have been a bad omen, but there was never a moment where I doubted everything you would do. The initiative and strength and perseverance you've shown in your role this year have been admirable, and the changes you've been able to make for Student Senate are both extensive and impressive. When I joined your ballot last spring, I didn't know you very well, but I knew that I had faith in your campaign, and now, a year later, I am so glad that I did. This past year has been one of the craziest of my life, but knowing you has been one of the highlights of it. You've made my experience in Senate infinitely better this year, not only by how you've run Senate as my boss, but by becoming my friend and showing me how great an organization like Senate can be when you're doing the work you love surrounded by the people you love. I am so grateful to you for the faith you've had in me this year and the support and friendship you've given me, and I'm so grateful to have had you as part of my journey here. Last, but in no universe are you the least, is Zach. Simply put, you are one of the best people I've ever had the honor of knowing, and I have no idea how to put into words the gratitude and love that I have for you. When I interviewed for a vacancy seat in Senate, I was 2 months into my freshman year of college, and I had no clue what Senate did, nor did I really know anyone in Senate. When I entered Bader conference room that day, I met you, and I had no idea how important you would become to me. You helped put me at ease that day during my interview, and you let me know that you were there for me if I needed anything. Since that day, you've never stopped being there for me. Whether it's a long talk in your office, a quick run to get ice cream, a drive around Eau Claire, a little music listening session, there has been no shortage of ways that you have fulfilled that promise to be here for me. You've watched me grow to where I am today, from a new starry-eyed freshman joining Senate to SOC intern to comms director. You've been at my side every step of the way, never ceasing to tell me how proud you are of me or remind me that you have faith in me. However, I've also been here for your journey. When I met you during my vacancy interview, you were a bit reserved and, in a way, on your own island. Over the past year and a half, I've watched you blossom. In transitioning from a UAC chair to director to student body vice president, I've gotten to know you as funny and outgoing, welcoming and loving, and most of all, persevering and strong. Not only have you been an incredible vice president who we are all lucky to have known, but you've become one of my biggest supporters and one of my closest friends this year, and you've woven yourself into the very fabric of my experience within Senate. I have no shortage of love for you, and I'm so incredibly proud of you for everything you've overcome to get where you are today. Today, I'm mourning the loss of your presence in this body, but I'm also celebrating the fact that I've gotten to spend an entire 2 years knowing you, and I am so very excited for the students and faculty at Northwestern who will be gaining one of the most impressive and valuable people I have ever known. I know that you will continue to blossom in Chicago and that your time here has only been the start of your journey, but I will never be able to put into words how lucky I feel that I've gotten to be a part of that journey. With all the love in the world, I am so proud of you, and I hope you know that my support and pride will follow you wherever you go, even if I can't. Don't be a stranger. To end my report, I would like to thank every single person in this room. Whether your journey with Student Senate is just starting or your time here is at its very end, everyone is in this room for a reason. We are all here for the betterment of this university and of this body, and I am so proud to be a part of that mission. I feel so lucky to have been a part of this body and the work that it has done in the 69th session, and I can't wait to see what comes of the 70th. For the last time of the session, I hope that everyone has felt oh so motivated this Monday, and I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into the Equity and Student Matters report with Director Keller.
Bueno, hola, hola a todos y buenas tardes. Happy last meeting with me as the ESM director. I don't really want to make this too long, but I do have a few things to say. First, I'd like to thank you all for giving me this amazing opportunity to be the director of this amazing commission. As a student who comes from multiple marginalized backgrounds, doing work to advocate for all students to ensure that everyone is seen, heard, and valued has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever had the pleasure to be a part of. I came into the 69th session not even knowing what Student Senate was, not knowing all aspects of my job, but ready to make a difference on this campus. This session, ESM has implemented 2 different social media campaigns. Monday Matters, which highlights different figures of marginalized groups to bring acknowledgement of voices who have broken barriers and pave the way for future generations to grow. The second one, Celebrations Around the World, highlighting different cultural and spiritual celebrations observed around the globe, part of the education step I brought forth in my speech at the beginning of the year. Next, Student Director Campbell started the Amplified Authors Book Club to encourage conversations of difficult stories brought to light by authors of different marginalized groups. My personal project of the year was the idea of implementing a hot water dispenser on campus for easy, readily access to hot water. Hot water is such a huge part of many different cultures around the world, cultures that many members of our international student population are a part of. This is a step for advocating for all student voices and showing that all cultures are welcome and celebrated here on campus. Sometimes we don't always think of the little things, and hot water is something that seems so small to us, but is a huge part of others' lives. Our other big project comes to us from Senator Christ, who I would love to give a huge shout out to. Senator Christ started from scratch our Blue Gold Blueprints, which will be continued in next session. The Blue Gold Blueprints are guides that have all resources here on campus that you could possibly think of, and Senator Christ went through hours and weeks of research to work to put these together so future students could have an easier way of getting all resources in one place. So thank you, Senator Christ, for your hard work and extreme dedication, not only to the Equity and Student Matters Commission, but to the student population as a whole. You have truly shown the reason why each of us is here, to make this campus a better place for everyone. Lastly, I'd like to give some thank yous. Thank you to my commission members who constantly remind me why I chose to be the Equity and Student Matters Director. You have all made meetings so much fun, and the work we do as a team has been none other than inspiring. Thank you to the exec board for taking me in and putting up with all of the questions I had about Parley Pro. Especially thank you to Rachel Schulte for being my personal trainer on Parley Pro. I genuinely mean I knew absolutely nothing in the beginning, and it's been so amazing going through the session with each and every one of you. Although she unfortunately isn't here anymore, I'd like to give a huge thank you to former Personnel Director Lily Isley, who was there for me when I didn't want anyone else to be. She is truly the reason why I am still here and why I continued doing the work I did all semester long. To me, she was a critical part of my Senate experience, and I wish I could have finished out the session with her. Finally, thank you to Director Campbell for being my student director and making this job not only extremely fun, but easier as someone who didn't know what she was doing on day one. Even though I may be losing a student director, I am so lucky I gained a best friend from our co-directorship. I truly couldn't have asked for a better partner to go through all of the highs and lows we've encountered these past 8 months, even though some of those lows include us rage baiting each other so much that we didn't even want to be around each other anymore. There is no one I'd rather have as my co-director. It is bittersweet to say goodbye to the 69th session and my directorship and being in Senate at all. And I am so proud to be a part of the change we see on campus. Thank you all, and for the last time, I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into the Finance Commission report with President-elect Shepard.
Sorry guys, I lost my report. I'm pulling it up briefly. Okay. Hello everyone. I hope you all had a good weekend, and I hope you are prepared for my report, as it is actually longer than 3 sentences for once. Surprise! So last week we had our last Finance Commission meeting of the year. Hooray! Yay! This past week, we reviewed the results of all of our audit meetings we conducted with all of the Ori's activities, and we celebrated our last meeting with cookies, courtesy of the lovely Hannah Johnson. On another note, as this is my last Student Senate meeting as Finance Director, I would like to thank a couple of people. And to begin, I would like to thank anyone who attended Finance this year. We put in a lot of work allocating funds and holding Ori's activities accountable, and your time and input was greatly appreciated. Special shout out to Director Keller, who by the power invested by me, by myself, I now pronounce as an official finance expert. Additionally, I would like to thank my two advisors, Hannah Johnson and Allison Zenke. They have both helped me out a lot this year within my position, and I could not have accomplished everything I did without them. Also, I would love to just take a little bit more time to acknowledge Hannah Johnson for all of the work she does. She does so much for the Finance Commission that she is not required at all to do, and she provides all the entertainment we need between talking about 820 policies, seg fees, and declining enrollment by making 6-7 jokes or laughing when she makes eye contact with Amber or Audrey. Additionally, just to try, Director Keller or Director Kurtler. Additionally, just to try and convey how fun she is to work with and why you should attend Finance Commission meetings next year, during our check-in during the Ori's activity budget request week, she asked me, and I quote, "On a scale of 1 to down bad, how bad are you?" So clearly you should all attend Finance next year to get more Hannah Johnson time. Also, it is her birthday tomorrow, so if you happen to see her, wish her a happy birthday. Lastly, I would like to thank my absolutely amazing intern, John Dunlap. I'm so glad I was able to help get you involved in the Finance Commission last year because I truly would not have rather had anyone else as a friend and intern this year. I would not have been able to get through this year without you, and you always managed to lighten my day even when we were in the trenches of organized activity budget requests, by somehow still being shocked that I, in fact, do not know what artist or song you were talking to me about, or by telling me that you hate me each day, and in case anyone is wondering, yes, he does mean it. Anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've accomplished this year and for being there for me whenever I needed a friend. And now I don't want to leave John out of the quotes department, so I will also be including a quote of something he said to me a year ago this Friday. Isabel, draw me like one of your French girls. Sorry. And with that, as always, if you plan on attending Finance Commission meetings next year and care about how your money is being spent, they will be on some day at some time in a location. I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into the Information Technology Commission report with Director Hagan.
Hello, everybody. I unfortunately do not have a long, heartwarming speech about how much I love Senate or how thankful I am to Zach, Kate, Isabel, Tia, Cole, Chanel, Alex, Ellie, Max, Audrey, and everyone else for welcoming me so warmly to my first year in Senate and supporting me as I figured out my role, or how important Senate is to me and to the whole university as a whole. All I can say is simply thank you all so much. This week in ITC was split between getting audio set up for this very room, writing a resolution on AI policy that we will be voting on tonight, and working out innovation budget proposals. We got 5 proposals, including proposals from the library for more makerspace tools and e-paper displays for their study rooms, as well as 3 more proposals from students that we need to work a little bit on before voting on them next week. If you want to lend your voice to our innovation budget proposal process, come join us in the Cedar Conference Room next Wednesday, May the 5th at 9 a.m. That's all. Thank you so much, and have a good week.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into the Intergovernmental Affairs report with Director Etzler.
It's 2 pages. We're going back to the long reports. I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone, for almost last time. That's right. You're stuck with me for another week until I get resigned next Monday. I'm sure I might be crying right now. I'm not, but I thought I was going to. So just thank God my report falls roughly in the middle. Maybe I've had enough time to recover to adequately pull myself together. First, a quick business matter. The spring block party is this Thursday at the Chippewa Lounge, which is the little outlook area over the river outside of the library, from 4 to 7 p.m. with a cabin as our rain location. We'll have hot dogs, burgers, and soda, as well as some live music being performed, including former, or in the words of Director Kurtler earlier, late Student Senator Sam Stumo with the Doghouse from 4:30 to 5 p.m. We'll also have some prizes to be won from local stores in Eau Claire if you donate food items for the campus food pantry. Finally, there's going to be cornhole for students to play while they enjoy the hopefully very relaxing evening. IGA and I have been working on this for about a month or so, so I would love for you all to come and hang out for a bit. It should be a good time. Now, to get to sappy stuff, I wanted to talk a little about my own experience in Student Senate while I still have a captive audience. I first joined this body through vacancy before I had even moved into the dorms fall semester of my freshman year during the 67th session. The director at the time, May Bean, kept saying throughout the year that she was going to groom me to become the next IGA director. And to be fair to her, I almost was. The former president and VP for the 68th session initially selected me as their nomination for IGA director, and I ended up saying no. I won't walk you through the mess that weekend was in finding my decision to decline their offer, but I wanted to mention it anyways. Knowing myself, I knew that I wanted to be director and hold that position at some point, but the jump from being a senator to director was overwhelming to me, and at the end of the day, I don't think I had faith in myself to not ruin this commission that I cared and care so deeply about. I didn't think I was ready enough, essentially. And now that I sit here before you at my very last Senate meeting, almost, to a certain extent, I think I was right. But I am so incredibly grateful that I said yes that second time. As crazy as session has been, I couldn't be prouder of what we have accomplished. What IGA did this session with the Act 15 resolution that damn near killed me, and what I hope to an extent is my legacy in Senate with helping senators find and execute their passion projects. You all mean so much to me, and I am so excited to see what this body does in the future. To my fellow exec board members, I wanted to say thank you for your truly inspiring dedication to your work. I don't think we made selecting a Director of the Year easy for Kate and Zach. Congratulations, Director Schulte, and that's something to be proud of. I hope to a certain extent that my time in Senate, this session especially, serves as a reminder that at the end of the day, this is just student government. Yes, we do incredibly important work and need to take that seriously, and I'm not saying to throw professionalism out the window, but if you're talking into the mic and mess up in front of everyone like I have every time I've spoken in front of this body, it's not the end of the world. You can have fun with it. I know it's not helpful for me to say just talk, but really that's my biggest piece of advice. I wish I had gotten over the hurdle sooner and left people's opinions behind. So I encourage you all to do so, to try your best to share your opinions on legislation, amend what's brought to the floor, ask the questions you might think is stupid. All of that leads to more conversation, and that's what government is for. As much as it makes the process longer, it is a necessary part of the process. I should know, I got a degree in this. Government and this body is meant for us to talk, to debate, to make campus, and furthermore, our community better than how we found it. And on the topic of legislation specifically, I've always held the mindset that if you don't necessarily think, even if you don't necessarily think a bill or resolution won't do anything once it passes, at the very least, you are using your voice and expressing your opinion to leave a record for the future. At the end of the day, that's all we can ask for. I am almost done, I pinky promise. I often think about whether I would have been accepted into Senate had I applied within the past session, and I truly don't think I would have. I didn't have a project I wanted to work on. I knew I wanted to join IGA and be an advocate for the students, but beyond that, I had no clue what I would find. But I'm so grateful that I joined. As fractured as Senate has been at times, I did find people I would consider family, people that I hope to take with me after graduation in May. You know who you are. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my Monday nights now. As much as this role has stressed me out this session, I can't imagine it being any other way. Senate has by far made the biggest impact of my college career, and I can confidently say that I would not be in the position I am without it. I'm sure I would have gotten into law school anyways on damn near a full ride, mind you, but this body gave me so many experiences and opportunities to do things like going down to Madison to lobby against anti-trans legislation and have a direct impact on legislation I need to take a breath, that will affect or did affect our students. And that gave me so much direction in what I want to do with my life, with my career. And I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm just so incredibly grateful for that. And for the future, I've said it a couple times throughout this session, but if there ever comes a time where you are not proud of yourself, know that I am proud of you. Don't forget to wish Senator Vollmer and I a happy birthday this Sunday. Godspeed, Blue Golds, and I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into the Student Health and Wellness Report with Director Schulte.
Okay, don't worry, guys. I'm going to keep this pretty concise. Hello, all. I hope everyone is having a great start to the week. This past week, I've been finishing up the planning for the Spring Health Fair. It will be this Thursday on the campus mall from 11 to 2 if you would like to stop by, grab a popsicle, and engage in the activities that the tables will be hosting. And as this is my last report of the year, I would just like to take the time to thank everyone who contributed in some capacity to SHW this year. I've thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to lead this wonderful commission. Whether you were at one meeting or all of them, you made an immense impact on me and the commission. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who was involved. Additionally, I would like to thank Zach and Kate for trusting me with this opportunity, as well as my fellow exec members for making this year memorable. I've truly grown so much, and I would not have been able to pull off what I did this year without the support from you all. I'm going to give a special shout out to my best friend and roommate, Piper. She is no longer here tonight. However, I could not have survived this year without her support. Thank you, and I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we'll now move on to the Student Office of Sustainability report with Director Schaffman.
Hello, all. Bear with me. My computer's about to die, so if it does, I'm going to be going to my phone. Sorry. My last bit of SOS business involves being on the other side of SOS Senate Director interviews and making edits to transition materials after 2 full years in this position. The last SOS hurrah being the final ecotherapy events. Tonight at 8 p.m., if we hopefully don't go that long, is the meditative yoga at the Hilltop group exercises with Trisha. Unfortunately, as it has rained, it will not be held outside, and it will be inside. On the same theme of rain, our final event, which was rescheduled to this Thursday, a day in the lawn outside in Towers Field from 4 to 6, although it's forecasted to be cold, so plans still may change. Check Blue Gold Connect Plus. Finally, SOS has business to take care of and proposals to pass, with 2 meetings left of the academic year. Don't fear, our student director is here and will be taking the reins of the SOS Commission. Finally, we have an SOS resolution to pass tonight, so you'll hear from me briefly later tonight. Now my time has come. This is it, my last Student Senate meeting. After 2.5 years in Student Senate, my time at UW Eau Claire has come to an end. Therefore, I've got a bit to say. I would like to first extend my immense gratitude to my commission, from dedicated members and voting members, coordinators, and of course, all 3 co-directors I've had the pleasure of working with, Director Hicks, Director O'Brien, and our current student director, Director Jordal. I know whomever will fill my shoes will excel and make fantastic, sustainable changes to UW Eau Claire. On the side of Student Senate, wow, it's been a ride, especially this last year. To all of those returning or joining Student Senate for the first time, my few words of advice is that this organization is truly the experience you make it out to be. I know a lot of people will be saying a lot of sappy things tonight. I don't want to add too much, but overall, I'm very thankful for my time at UW Eau Claire and my opportunity to grow in a leadership position. Although I am thankful to all, I have a few targeted shout-outs. To first start with those who have fallen, Hunger Games style, for sure. The former personnel director, Lily Isley, you've been my rock and best friend. I cannot thank you enough for everything, our growth as people and friends, and for our hopeful future together wherever we end up. Including, of course, the former and last academic affairs director, Sienna Emerson, one of the sweetest people I've met, in which I hope nothing but the utmost best comes to your future. To those I've gotten closer with this academic year, Director Schulte and Campbell, who've the most fun and energetic roommate/director duo I know. Director Keller, what a beautiful and driven soul, an SOS voting member and professional rage baiter. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Ash, the best little brother I don't have, roommate and close friend. The constant laughs, academic drive, and absolute ray of sunshine. It's been an honor. To all of those I have not discussed directly mentioned, there are so many important people, you're not forgotten. Our little moments of laughter and distraction from homework truly changed my outlook on this session. Honorable mention to Stephanie Picola, who always informed me of the wildest stuff going on. Although going our separate ways, I would still like to thank President Heverin and Vice President Cardell for our once close moments of living together, trips, and laughs, but also the opportunity to continue as the Senate Director for SOS. Overall, it too shall pass and on to graduation. I wish the 70th session of the UW Eau Claire Student Senate the absolute best. Thank you for all the laughs and love. For the final time, SOS Sprout. I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move on to the Student Organization Commission report with Vice President-elect Byrne.
Hey, party people! Wow. Crazy to believe that this is the last meeting of the session. Time sure has flown by. At the start of this session, I, like many of you, was unsure of what the 69th session had in store. It sure was an experience, but one that I would not trade for the world. I've enjoyed the friendships and experiences I've made and would like to thank everyone who was a part of that. Whether that be if you're a commission member of SOC, attended any of the funding presentations, talked with me in the office, or any of the sort, I truly appreciate it, and I am grateful for all the connections over the year. To everyone who is leaving Senate, thank you so much for your time and best of luck on all of your future endeavors. I can say with confidence that you will all continue to do amazing things. To Kate and Zach, thank you for all that you have done this session. I know there are many challenges thrown your way, but thank you for being there through it all. I appreciate the hard work that you two have put into Senate and for trusting me with the Student Organization Commission. To all my commission members, thank you. The work that we were able to complete this year would not have been possible without each and every one of you. To my advisors, Sarah and Stephanie, I have no idea what I would do without you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for all that you've done and for answering all of my questions and supporting me in my role these last couple of years. I call you guys my SOC moms for a reason. Last, but certainly not least, thank you so incredibly much to my intern, Max. Seriously, could not have even ran a meeting without you this year. It has been so cool to see you grow throughout the year, and I love the passion that you have for SOC. You were dealt with a lot as intern, from taking meeting minutes for 6 hours straight to sitting on the Student Organization Code of Conduct Committee. Everyone in this whole body, give yourselves a huge pat on the back. We did it. Thank you so, so much, everyone. You can take the girl out of the party, but not the party out of the girl. Party person out, I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move on to the University Activities Commission report with Director Berg.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Blue Gold Street Fest. What an incredible week to give such a lengthy report before the sappy part. UAC has 8 events this week, so hold tight. I hope you were all able to grab a hot dog today outside of Davies. If not, I'm really sorry. They were really good. Tomorrow we have our petting zoo back in Phillips Yard, 12 to 2 p.m. On Wednesday we have Blues Bingo. Sorry, I think I'm screaming. We have Blues Bingo with the same theme as Springfest. It will be in the cabin 5 to 6:30 p.m. There will be a JBL speaker with blue on it, a skateboard, UAC's coveted duck hat, a student design or 2 student design enamel pins, and gift cards to various places around Eau Claire. On Thursday, we have our annual Dash and Bash event. This is similar to Amazing Race, where you'll be led through campus to stations by clues where you'll do challenges. Just for signing up, you'll get a Nito and a $20 gift card. You still have to attend, by the way. Nintendo Switches, Stitch, Legos, or an Awala are first, second, and third place prizes. You can sign up by scanning the QR code on any of the Dash and Bash posters or accessing it from the link tree on UWEC involvement on Instagram. Directly after the event, IGA will be hosting the Bash. There will be free food and student vendors. On Friday, we will have the band Turn, Turn, Turn playing in the cabin 6 to 8 p.m. We will also have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory playing in Woodland Theater 7 to 9 p.m. on Friday. On Saturday afternoon, we will have our final festival event, Sidewalk Social on Towers Field 1 to 3 p.m. There will be a local acai truck, yard games, free food from UAC, and a collaboration with RHA to give out free sunscreen. Finally, Saturday evening, Vivian Burry, a student artist, will be hosting our final open mic night. You can sign up on UAC's Blue Gold Connect Plus. Personally, this last week, I was able to catch up with the UAC team by bonding over all-you-can-eat sushi. Moving forward, this week, my advisor and returning chairs will be facilitating interviews for new chairs for this upcoming fall. By next Monday, there will be a clear picture of what the UAC team will look like this upcoming fall. Now that you've endured my lengthy informational report, I want to give some big thanks to my team.
I first want to say thank you to Vicky, Rebecca, Liv, Lily, and Gwen. You've truly been a rock for our commission, the backbone and incredible mentors to newcomers. You've made this commission what it is, and I can't wait to work with you this upcoming year in whatever regard that is. Next, another big thanks to Ivy, Trista, Amina, and Brandon. I've been so lucky to work with the greatest coworkers, people, and even better friends. All of you have such incredible futures, and I hope to see and be a part of every moment of it. My biggest thanks is to my advisor, Joanne Martin. If you don't know Joanne, I feel incredibly sorry for you. She's the best confidant, biggest supporter, and the one who's made me feel capable of leading such an extraordinary commission. There's no one else I'd rather share floor time with, share Eau Claire memories and fun facts, or encourage to be my friend post-graduation. I could go on and on for hours about our entire exec team, but I'll spare you some time. Just know that there's an entire team behind my front for UAC that makes all of these events possible. A team like ours is special, and that's irreplaceable. Thank you to the new senators for being so patient this evening. I can't wait to know all of you individually and work together. I hope to see everyone in this horseshoe and back here at all of the SpringFest events this week. I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into a special report from the mascot coordinator with Coordinator Claith.
Hi guys. Okay, this is gonna put on the seatbelt. We're gonna go. Okay. So first, I'm just gonna talk about some general information for the rest of the year. During my past week, I've been finalizing some of my staffing efforts for the summer in terms of like orientation, and also putting some projects into motion for the next mascot coordinator pickup at the start of the next school year. I'm still looking for some summer workers, so if you are interested or know anyone who is interested, please let me know. Besides Senate work, I've been soaking up all the UV rays and getting very torched, as every ginger does. I got the chance to go to Madison for the very first time this past weekend, and it was a lot of fun. In terms of mascot news, this week is very busy. Blue will be attending at least every single SpringFest event during this week. And beyond SpringFest, Blue will also be partnering with the Pinky Swear Pact this Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to help raise money for children fighting cancer. Go raise some ducks down Little Niagara, the stream in front of Davies. The money does go to a great cause. Now that news updates are done, I thought I would take a second to reflect on my year in Student Senate. I walked into this school year with the plan to attend Finance Commission as a student member, and somehow I ended up in this chair. Thank you, Director Shepard and Senator Dunlap, for welcoming me into your commission and encouraging me to apply for vacancy. After I became a senator, I got to meet some of the coolest people I've gotten to know in my time here at Eau Claire. A lot has happened this year, and I wouldn't be here without every single one of you. Thus, I thought I'd take some time to commend some people who have made the biggest impact on my life so far. Logan, please bear with me for this. Hi, John. To my fellow Finance Bro of Student Senate, I first met you after Tyler, the Creator, didn't play New Magic Wand at the Minneapolis show, and somehow we've ended up here. I'm not gonna lie, I was very intimidated to talk to you at first, but I'm so glad I did. While we haven't been friends for that long, in the grand scheme of things, I consider you one of my most trusted confidants. Through thick and thin, you've always been the calm within some pretty chaotic storms. You walk into a room prepared, you stick to your guns, and you protect those you care about most. I know I'm hard glazing you right now, but some of this stuff needs to be said. Your conviction and drive to achieve whatever you set your sights on never ceases to amaze me. I know it often helps me to hear this, but sometimes you just gotta hear it. Please keep doing what you're doing. I know you're more than ready to take off and soar. You have a heart of gold, and I'm so proud to call you one of my best friends. To Audrey, the best gym buddy I could ever ask for. I'm so proud to see how you stepped into your role this semester. When I first joined Senate, you always made a point to talk to me and feel included as part of this body. Outside of Student Senate, you welcomed me into your social circle with open arms, and I am eternally grateful. You've done such a great job advocating for what Student Senate does and who we are to the student body. Thus, I think it's fair to say you have more than earned the right to steer the ship that we call comms. I'm always left feeling oh so motivated every single Monday, even when it's below zero. Even though you quote me out of context almost daily, I'm proud to call you one of my closest friends. To Isabel, or as I refer to you, Madam Finance. Although I always joke that you don't remember meeting me at Blues Org Bash in the fall, I'm grateful you showed interest in me and wanted me as a member of your commission. I've learned so much from you this year, whether it's time management skills or learning more about good old 820 policy. Maybe it's just me saying this, but I think your name might go down in some book as one of the best finance majors to ever finance. Your dedication to this body and the students more than speaks for itself, and I can't wait to see all you accomplish next year. To Allie, you were one of the first people who talked to me during my first office hour this year. We've had the pleasure of chatting about various fixations like Markiplier, Good Mythical Morning, and why Noah Kahn produces lyrical masterpieces. I haven't listened to Great Divide yet, so I can't say if that statement is still factual. As someone whose major is so far removed from government procedure, you did the impossible and made me do active research about who's on my ballot. So good on you for that. In your own wise words, good luck and Godspeed. To Amber. When I first joined in the fall, it took me a good month before realizing I knew you from club tennis. We both walked into this session knowing absolutely nothing about Student Senate, and here we are now. You always bring such a fun energy into the office, and you always know how to make people laugh. Your passion for your work more than speaks for itself, and I hope you realize how much of a difference you've made on this campus. You and Student Director Campbell have done so much work this year to achieve your goals. You both should be very proud. Also, I apologize for calling you Piper on accident way too many times. I actually have no excuse. To Alex, my fellow coordinator, desk neighbor, and favorite rage bait accomplice. I've enjoyed our numerous talks about Pokemon and whatever random topics we think of. When I stepped into my position as mascot coordinator this semester, you helped me understand what our role means and what it can become within this body. Your guidance and assistance helped me find my footing in this role. We've done a lot of great work together, and hey, coordinators can vote now. We did that. To Zach. I had the pleasure of meeting you at the Senate block party at the start of first semester, and I've enjoyed every single second of getting to know you. You've been a great friend and a resource that I know I can always turn to if I need help. I hope you know I'm never gonna let you live down falling out of your chair at my vacancy interview. That one's too good to let go of. I couldn't put it into words until today, but I realized you've sort of been a mentor figure for me. You and I are very similar, emotionally speaking. We try to be the friendly and always available emotional wall for others, and we also know that to stand tall, a wall needs some steady ground and support. You've taught me that to be a wall, or how to be that wall, but also it's okay for walls to crack, break, crumble, and be rebuilt again. You've also taught me that sometimes a wall needs another wall. It's important to care deeply about others, but it's arguably more important to care deeply about yourself. You should never let the way people think or feel dictate how you feel about yourself. All in all, I wish I hadn't taken some of our time for granted, but I'm thankful we got to spend time together at all. I believe everyone has a calling, and I think yours is to inspire others. I know you're going to do great things in your future endeavors, and the best words you've taught me, 1, all things must pass, and 2, a bird doesn't know it can fly unless it takes a leap. And lastly, to President Heffron. Thank you for taking a chance on me this year. It's been a pleasure getting to know you throughout this past year and getting to work alongside you this semester. I feel like I had some big shoes to fill when stepping into my role this semester, and I'm thankful you felt I was ready for that kind of challenge. I'm truly going to miss our weekly check-ins. You showed me that progress isn't linear. It's a path full of twists and turns that eventually leads to growth. You're going to kill it in what you do next. I have lots of faith in that. All right, zone in here. Now that I've said my 2 cents, I'll say that I have high hopes for what Student Senate looks like next year and beyond. We have all done such great work in this body, and I know that isn't stopping anytime soon. For anyone leaving Senate or graduating after this year, thank you for being part of my journey, and letting me be part of yours. It really means a lot. And to the new senators, hi everybody. You're going to do great work going into next year. Thanks for letting me yap a little bit. I yield.
Are there any questions for that report? Any questions for that report? Seeing none, we will now move into a special report from the housing coordinator with Coordinator Shrigos.
Wow. All those reports were very well written and emotional, and they're very hard to follow. So, in light of my most recent award at the Senate Parleys, most likely to yield the report, I would like to yield my report to the minute.
That report has been yielded to the minutes. With that, we have exhausted reports. And we'll move into the oath of office, beginning with Student Body Vice President Tia Byrne. If you could please come up to the front. You have to lock in. All right. Here, just don't say senator. Just don't say senator.
What do you want to do this? Let's see. You're going to face me. Okay. All right, ready? Ready, pretty person? All right. All right, repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I got this. I state your full name. Having been duly appointed by my peers, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Body Vice President. Oh, rewind. Guys, this is so good. Will faithfully execute the office of Student Body Vice President of the Student Body of the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. That I will adhere to the Constitution of the same. That I will maintain honorable conduct. And that I will faithfully represent, preserve, and protect the greater interests of the students of the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire. And all my words, deeds, and actions. Welcome.
Congratulations. You still have to say it 3 times.
I appoint Tia Byrne the Student Body Vice President.
All right.
Resigned of Vice President of the 69th session, Zachary Cardell.
Feel free. Next up, Student Body President Isabel Shepard, get on up here. Ready for this? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Having been duly appointed by my peers, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Body President of the Student Body of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, and that I will adhere to the Constitution of the same, that I will maintain honorable conduct, and that I will faithfully represent, preserve, and protect the greater interests of the students of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire in all my words, deeds, and actions. Congratulations, appointed Isabel Shepard, Student Body President of the 70th session.
All right, I now resign the president of the student body of the 69th session, Caitlin Hevron. Give me a moment to get set up, everybody. All right, just want to give another thank you to Kate Heverin and Zach Cardell for your service to Student Senate for the 69th session. So if everyone can give them a hand. All right. Now that we have completed the oath of office, we will now move into the 70th session. Yay! And without objection to the chair, I will be amending the agenda to move into personnel for a moment to appoint some of our new senators for the 70th session. So if all of those who are in the back who need to be sworn in tonight, if you could come into the front so we can get you appointed, that would be great. All right. So I'll ask that you all raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your full name. Have been duly appointed by my peers. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator of the student body of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, that I will adhere to the Constitution of the same, that I will maintain honorable conduct, and that I will faithfully represent, preserve, and protect the greater interests of the students of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire in all my words, deeds, and actions. All right, I now appoint Student Senators Soleil Christ, Haley Daniels, and Amina Njai for everyone. You may now join us in the horseshoe. All right, as we have exhausted that portion of personnel, we will now move into new business, beginning with 70-R-1 in support of artificial intelligence policy. Is there an author willing to introduce? Director Hagan.
Hello, everybody. So, for our first resolution of the 70th session, this is a resolution on AI policy. I don't think I need to go over why we need to have an AI policy on campus, but I will tell you that we currently do not have an AI policy. There is no overarching policy for campus, and there is a working group being formed in the administration to create an AI policy, and Dr. Martini mentioned, I love his name by the way, mentioned an overarching AI policy in his town hall. So I wanted to establish a student opinion and get it out to them before too much work is done in that area, so a student voice is realized. This is a pretty short and sweet resolution. It reflects 2 questions asked in the student tech survey and talks with ITC. It has passed unanimously through ITC. Basically, the 3 points in this resolution is 1, professors, or the students support that professors can make their own policy regarding their classes instead of a university. 2, professors are required to establish how AI can be used by both professors and students in their class and put this all in the syllabus. And 3, basically saying that AI can be an effective learning tool when used properly. I yield.
Right. Are there any questions for that introduction? Director Schulte.
Just for reference, how many people responded to the tech survey?
I believe it was around 500.
Sorry, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Are there any other questions? Director Berg.
This is just a clarifying question. This resolution doesn't state that any faculty members have to state any specifics in their AI policy, but just the fact that they have to have an AI policy, correct?
Yes, we just wanted to make sure that basically the students know how AI will be used, but we leave that up to the professor what to include in their policy.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, follow-up?
On follow-up?
Could you share the two questions from the ITC survey that were addressed within this resolution?
Do you want the exact wording, or I can just give you the gist as if you want?
The gist is fine.
Okay. The gist was basically, do you want the university to create an AI policy, or do you want that to be decided by professors? And then the second one, do you think that professors should be able to use AI in the creation of class material? So the first one, university versus professor, got about a 70%, it's on there somewhere. 73% prefer the professors create policy instead of the university. And then the second one, using AI in the creation of classroom materials, 58% said that they should not be allowed to. We decided in ITC that 73 was a large enough majority to include that in the resolution. 58 was not. So, yeah, I think I just over-explained, but yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right, Coordinator Clay?
Hi, thank you for the introduction. My question is mainly, let's say upon the passage of this resolution, what are next steps in terms of ITC going into the start of our session here?
Well, really, it's not up to us, it's up to the administration. But ideally, me personally, I would like a student on that working group being started by the provost or chief of staff or somebody, I don't know. But yeah, they're creating a working group right now to build out the policy, and I'd like a student there, or at least maybe meetings with them to get student input from someone on ITC. Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Follow-up?
On follow-up?
So upon the passage, so again, upon the passage of this, is the plan to have this, if it goes through administration, were you hoping to have a policy maybe set in place by next school year, or by at some point within the next school year, or something like that?
That again is up to the administration. I don't really know the timeline. I know that's pretty early right now, so really, I don't know, and I don't have control over it. I'd imagine sometime next semester, getting to the end, probably close to the end of the semester, but that's just my musings.
So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for that introduction? Any other questions? Right. Seeing as there are no further questions, is there anyone for the speakers list? Senator Lee.
I will be voting this up because I think that establishing to what extent, if any, should AI be used in the classroom will allow students to better understand how AI should be used. Different programs and majors utilize AI differently, and the policies professors hopefully create, I believe, will better reflect standards and create more solid guidelines. Thank you. I yield.
Move to amend.
On amendment.
Capitalize the P in policy in the title.
Seeing as that is editorial, that stands by the chair. Director Kurtler.
I will be voting this up. It's a very well-written resolution, and I love that it's based in student voices. I yield.
Director Hagan.
You should all vote this up. I yield.
Is there anyone else for the speakers list? Director Keller.
I will be voting this up. It is very clear that Director Hagan took very clear steps into creating this resolution. With 500 participants on the survey is incredible and is something that we love to see. So I will be voting this up.
All right. Is there anyone else for the speakers list? Great. Seeing none, we will now go into a placard vote on 70-R-1. And for those who do not have a placard, please just raise your hands in place of your placard, which you will receive in the fall. So all those in favor of 70-R-1 in support of artificial intelligence policy? All right, opposed and abstaining? That resolution passes in a vote of 27-0 to 2. And we will now move on to 70-R-2 in support of maintaining renewable energy credit program for carbon neutrality of the Davies Center. Is there an author willing to introduce? Director Schaffman.
Hello, hello. This is the last thing of the night. Whew, we're getting there. I'm going to yield my speaking turn to student and SOS commission voting member, Ira.
Thank you, Maddie. Hello, my name is Irina. I'm currently an SOS voting member and the Environmental and Sustainability Chair for the Residence Hall Association. I'm here to introduce Resolution 70R2, which has been quite a long work this academic year with Lily's contributions and leading the work for this resolution to happen on Word, as well as Maddie's contributions. So I thank them for this. The Resolution 70R2 calls for support in the continuation of the Renewable Energy Credit Program with Excel Energy. For the past 14 consecutive years, so since 2012, the Student Office of Sustainability has been contributing to funding carbon neutrality of the Davis Student Center through this Renewable Connect program. In particular, the renewable energy credits are certificates, so they legally offset non-renewable energy with electricity generated from wind and solar. As explained in the resolution, the UW system's interpretation of Policy 820 currently prohibits the use of allocable segregated fees for direct REC purchases, including the Student Office of Sustainability Fund, which is previously referred to as the Green Fund. Nevertheless, non-allocable segregated fees, which cover operational expenses like utilities, can fund this program onward. From the previous SOS Commission, who initially passed the Renewable Connect program contract back in 2012, when the current Davies Center opened, and now with the passage of Attachment A through the current SOS body, we hope to be able to continue this program. The UW Eau Claire Finance Administration, in recognition of this long-standing sustainability legacy of the program, has already agreed to cover the $10,000 annual cost until fiscal year 2028, when a non-allocable funding request could be approved. With that, this upcoming semester, fall of 2026, SOS plans to reduce their allocable funding budget request by $10,000 in hope to fully offset the cost of the renewable energy credits without increasing any student fees for the students. Finally, the SOS General Assembly unanimously passed this proposal on April 21st, 2026, reflecting strong support for maintaining carbon neutrality at the Davis Center through the continuation of the Renewable Connect program. This resolution now comes to Student Senate with the same sentiment and asks for further student support for the Davis Student Center to continue our carbon neutrality. And if there are any questions, I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I have support on both sides of me.
Just one point of clarification, this is carbon neutral electricity. There is heating in the building, and that comes from the heating plant, which does use fossil fuels. But so this is focused on the electricity, the lighting, the plug load, all that jazz.
Thank you, Lily. And we yield.
Perfect. Does anyone have any questions for that introduction? Any questions? All right. Coordinator Clay.
Hi, thank you for the introduction. Okay, so as mentioned, do you guys mind pulling up the attachment real quick? So as mentioned in the attachment for the abstract, The UWC Finance Administration has agreed to pay for the credits until FY28, since SUFAC has already done the budgeting for the year. Have there been further discussions with their SUFAC body, which is our finance commission here, about like discussions about one, creating a new allocable, but two, like the process in general of how you guys are going to walk through this, seeing as this is not followed, seeing as with the most current interpretation of A20 policy, renewing the contract as is right now with funding is not possible.
So we have been communicating with the Finance Commission about how it could potentially be done. We clarified that we do not have the authority over the funding for the Davies Student Center, so we don't have the direct impact on how they will allocate funding. Lily can expand further.
Would you like more information?
Yes, please.
So seeing as the fiscal year 2028 presentations haven't been conducted yet, that'll be something that's talked about in Finance Commission in the fall when SOS presents their budget request. Regarding the non-allocable section, that is something that, and they can add on to this, but SOS will need to talk about with Davies centers, and then centers will determine their fee based on what they decide off of that.
Yeah, and we've had initial conversations with Kristen and Roberta about this. They have not continued since students had not done a resolution or shown support through this body. So initial conversations have been had about the non-allocable fund, and will continue over the summer so that in the fall, everyone is on the same page, and the steps needed to change the non-allocable are in place so that we can follow them and communicate about them.
Does that answer your question?
Follow-up?
On follow-up?
So I guess this is more of a clarifying question. So is the proposed idea currently is not to create a new non-allocable fee, it's just to change the one for Davies, for like the Davies non-allocable to reflect the change and being able to have enough, like to have the money to said renew like your contract with Excel Energy, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions for that introduction? All right. Seeing no further questions, we will move into a speakers list. Is there anyone for the speakers list? Senator Mapes?
I would like to thank the authors for presenting. As being a part of SOS, I get to see a lot of the background work of this resolution be made, and a lot of the conversations, and I know there's been a lot of thought put into it. Davies being carbon neutral since 2012 has been a long tradition, and with this resolution, it allows us to continue this great program that we've been a part of. The Finance Commission has been very nice to us to give us money again to have this continue and have it still fit in with 820 policy. I think that if we didn't pass this, we would be going backwards in sustainability because we would be taking away the carbon neutrality of this big, big building. So I'll be voting this up, and I think you guys all should too. I yield.
Director Berg?
This is more so, actually, never mind. I want to say big thanks to the authors, Irina, Lily, and Maddie, for providing context for all of this. I think the proposal was incredibly well organized and very easy to follow, which doesn't come around very often. Kind of echoing previous speakers, I think we see a lot of going backwards in terms of innovation on our campus, or possibility of going backwards. And I think moving forward and having a student put so much effort into wanting sustainability on our campus is so admirable, and putting in all of this work and taking the correct steps to making this possible. I think we're doing it right, and I think moving forward, I think this is a great foundation for what it should be like. I yield.
Senator Dunlap?
I will be voting this up. Being able to look at this material a few weeks prior has been something that I would say has been a great help to find out what the ideas and the gears that spin within the SOS Commission. I think this is a great idea. I think the wording that is inside the in attachment A is wonderful, and I'm super glad to see that this is continuing. I yield.
Director Schaffman.
Hello. As I've had more of like an inner look on the whole process of this, I would just love to echo previous speakers as well as thank all of those who have had their hands in these changes, these conversations, AOS, especially Ira, taking this big feat that honestly you did not have to do. Sorry, I'm speaking to somebody. But I really appreciate being able to take a big change that would happen to Davie Center, which is our student center, and being able to, you know, tell administration and people above us that this is something that we as students want. And I feel like this is a big thing for this university and a big thing for the Davie Center in general, as this started as the new Davie Center was made. So the fact that this could have possibly just gone away was honestly scary, and I'm glad that it will hopefully, as this is just support of, obviously we can't say anything will happen, but I'm really excited, and I hope all of you take into consideration the support of making sure that Davie Center is electricity carbon neutral. Thank you. I yield.
Coordinator Claith.
I'll be voting this up. As someone who had the pleasure of going to SOS last week and seeing this proposal go through, while I'm not a voting member of SOS, I was still very interested in the topic itself. And so to see this bill come, or this resolution come up here in such a fast time, thank you to everyone who was able to write this. It's just very important that, well, one, we remain carbon neutral, like as previous speakers said, in this very big building we have here. It's awesome to see even members of commissions coming together to write resolutions and stuff like that, you know, to bring to this floor and having them come in and speak. Sorry, I know I'm kind of speaking to somebody, but you know, seeing them come into like Student Senate and do all that, it's inspiring. So I yield.
Director Keller.
Hi, I would just like to give a huge thank you to the author and to student Lavada who came forward to Student Senate to propose this resolution as an SOS member and a voting member. Sorry, Coordinator Claith. It has been so cool to see kind of how this has developed through since the first time that it was even brought up in SOS, and it's been so cool to see the process of it and the engagement that Commission member Lavada has had throughout this whole thing. I think student representation and student involvement is exactly what we have been striving for and in this governing body, and I think this is a great representation of that. So I will be voting this up, and again, huge thank you.
Are there any other speakers for the speakers list? All right, seeing none, we will move into a placard vote on 70-R-2. All those in favor, please raise your hands or placards. Opposed? Abstaining? That resolution passes in a vote of 27-02. And with that, we have exhausted new business and will now move into personnel, beginning with the resignation of the 69th session directors and coordinators, with the exception of Director Kurtler, Director Etzler, Director Schulte, Coordinator Claith, and Coordinator Shrigos. With that said, thank you everyone for all of your hard work in the 69th session, and I'll now ask those who have been resigned to exit the horseshoe. Sorry, also with the exception of Director Berg. That's my bad. All right, next on the agenda, we have vacancy committee appointments. So Vice President Byrne is planning to conduct vacancy interviews this Friday, so we are looking to make committee appointments tonight. And for those who may not know, for committee appointments, anyone is able to raise their placard or hand and nominate another senator, student, or yourself for the committee. And also, for more information, we will likely resign the vacancy committee members next week, Monday. so we can start off with a clean slate next semester, as making committee appointments in the spring is not typical. With that's.
I don't know if I can say this. Would you like more information about vacancy committee?
Yes.
All right. Just for those of you who don't know what vacancy committee is as you see, we have some open spaces in our horseshoe. Ideally, we'd like to fill that. So the idea of the vacancy committee is basically you just be there for another way to get into centers, not just elected, but through vacancy, which means you have an interview. So as vice president, the role is to lead those interviews, but I need a committee to sit with me and interview these individuals who apply. So basically, if you sit on vacancy committee, you would be attending interviews just for people who are interested in joining Student Senate as an at-large student senator. Limit probably maybe no more than 10. Let's just say that.
With that said, are there any nominations for vacancy committee? Senator Dunlap,
I'd like to nominate myself.
do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
Sorry. Director Kurtler,
I'd like to nominate myself.
do you accept that
Yes.
nomination? All right. Director Etzler,
I'd like to nominate Senator Vollmer.
do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
All right. Senator Lee,
I nominate Senator Nanjai.
do you accept that nomination?
Yep.
Senator Daniels,
I'd like to nominate myself.
do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
All right. Senator Feltes,
I'd like to nominate myself.
do you accept that nomination?
I do.
Senator Harada,
I'd like to nominate myself.
do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
All right. Senator Heverin, can someone please pass a mic?
I'd like to nominate myself.
Do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
All right. Are there any further nominations? Please remind me of your last name, Tyler.
It's Leon.
Leon?
Leon. Sorry.
Okay. Senator Leon.
I nominate myself. Oh, say again. Sorry. My last name is pronounced Leong.
Can you spell that?
It's Leong.
Perfect. Do you accept that nomination?
Yes, I do.
Please bear with us while we learn names, everybody. All right. Are there any other nominations for vacancy committee? All right. With that said, I appoint Senator Dunlap, Director Kurtler, Senator Vollmer, Senator Njai. Yes? Okay. Senator Daniels, Senator Feltes, Senator Harada, Senator Heverin, and Senator Leon. All right. You are all appointed to vacancy committee, and with that, we have exhausted personnel. So we will now move into announcements this evening. Are there any announcements tonight? Director Schulte.
I'm so sorry, guys, but I realized earlier I didn't really tell you guys what the Spring Health Fair is. It's just a day for, well, a few hours for health orgs around campus / student health orgs or student organizations to table on the campus mall to kind of show you the resources that are available on this campus. There's going to be like, I think 18 different organizations tabling, and I asked each one of them to have something like fun and interactive at their table. So if you want to learn more about your resources available to you on campus, you just definitely stop by. It's going to be Thursday from 11 to 2. And I'm also going to be using the rest of the SHW budget to buy popsicles. So come by if you want a popsicle. I yield.
Are there any questions for that announcement? Any questions? All right, seeing none, Director Berg.
I'll try to keep this quick and short. One, please come to all of the UAC Springfest events. They're all real hype, and you're gonna have fun at every one of them. The second one, any new senators, if you're interested in UAC ever, it's basically the love of my life, and I'd love to tell you all about it. And I would love to get to know each and every one of you, because there's a place in UAC for you. That's it. I yield.
Are there any questions for that announcement? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to Director Etzler.
Okay, I'm not at risk of crying anymore, so I'm gonna go more into detail about the block party really quick, just more so the music. So we're gonna have 4 groups performing. We have Callisto from 4 to 4:30, the Doghouse, which I mentioned earlier, with former Senator Sam Stumo, from 4:30 to 5, Audacious from 5 to 6, and Northland Groove from 6 to 7 p.m. You should all come. I saw that. You should all come and chill. It should be a really fun time. And again, I've spent so much time working on it. So I would love you forever and ever if you did that. I yield.
Does anyone have any questions for that announcement? Any questions? Great. Vice President, Director Kurtler.
Could you repeat the times for the performers, please?
I can. So Callisto from 4 to 4:30. Doghouse 4:30 to 5. Audacious from 5 to 6. And then Northland Groove starts at 6. An hour later, they're done. I'm not saying it again. That's it. I yield.
Does that answer your question? Are there any other questions? Right. Vice President Byrne.
I have 2 super quick announcements. The first one being, for those of you who got appointed to vacancy, thank you. Expect an email from me.
Any questions for that announcement?
And my last final announcement for any new senator who was sworn in either last week or this week who's new to Student Senate as a whole, if you could stick around just super quickly, like nothing crazy, just want to like introduce ourselves and all that stuff. Even if you're not new to Senate, you can still stick around if you'd like. But yeah, thank you. I yield.
All right. Any questions for that announcement? All right. Seeing none. Coordinator Clay.
Okay, guys, I'm going to make this really quick. I'm sorry. So first off, like I said, guys, go to all those events, please, that was mentioned by Director Berg and Director Etzler. Blue will be at all of them, so you should show up. And then the second thing is that for any of you new senators, if you want to get involved with the mascot program at all, even if you just want to walk around with Blue sometimes, please let me know. I'm open to having everybody around. It's a great opportunity, and yeah, I yield.
Are there any questions for that announcement? Any questions? All right, are there any other announcements tonight? If there aren't any objections to the chair, I do have one. I just want to say overall, welcome to all of our new senators. Also, I recognize, and I think we all recognize, that it can be very scary speaking in the horseshoe, and you will have to deal with Tia and I struggling to learn your names for a little bit. But we do really encourage you guys all to speak, and fortunately for you, our next week meeting will have many closed sessions, so that's a little bit less formal speaking. So if you kind of just want to get used to speaking the horseshoe, please show up for that. And that's all I have. I yield. Are there any questions for that announcement? All right. Are there any other announcements? Seeing none, I adjourn this meeting at 8:02 p.m.